The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. This is Brian Ankney with Auto Success Magazine. Doug, I appreciate you coming. Frank, Jim, Mike, Rich, Thea, Thomas, and more. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day today. I have the pleasure of introducing to you today Rich Delancey. We got a really cool topic for you today. And if you have questions, I'd like to discuss how to ask them before we get started. On the right side of your screen, you should see a panel, and if you're on a smartphone, it's up at the top. You just touch the screen, and it'll give you a little thing at the top, and you hit the little menu button, and you'll be able to see questions. And so either view, if you click on questions, it'll open up a little box, and you're able to type in your questions. Now we're going to answer the questions at the end, but please enter them as we go so you don't forget. Go ahead and type in questions as we go, and I will ask them all to Rich at the end of the webinar today. Another thing I'd like to bring up is if you haven't already, please join Auto Success Webinars on Facebook. It's a group. You go to Facebook, you type in Auto Success Webinars. It'll come up, ask to join the group. In that group, you'll be able to see all of our future webinars. You can see some recordings of past webinars. You can interact with our speakers. You can suggest future webinars. And most importantly, as we all learn new things on all these webinars, you're going to go, once you hang up the phone and you're off the webinar, you're going to start trying these new things. And as you go through those steps, some of you are going to have great success, some of you are going to run into trouble. It's a great place to interact with your peers as they try to do the same improvements at their dealership that you're doing at yours. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Rich. Rich is the VP of Digital Marketing at Team Velocity. He has spoken just about everywhere, NADA, Digital Dealer, NIADA, AutoCon, RVDA, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Radio Advertising Bureau. Rich, take it away, my friend.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Okay.
Rich,
I want to keep. Yep. Can you hear me?
We lost your audio for 1 second. Would you start over again, please?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. Now we can.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, everyone, for coming in and spending a couple minutes with us today. And I look to have a fast-paced and fun session with you. Ask any questions. We'll try to get to them at the end, and then certainly we'll pass along my information if you have some follow-ups as we go through. I can always talk digital. Everybody who knows me will tell you that. I'll talk your ear off on it. So feel free to reach out with me at any time. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try to unlock a little bit of digital marketing. And whenever I start a presentation, I always start with this slide because digital marketing means something different to everybody I ask. If I went out there right now to every one of you that are on this call and I ask you what digital marketing means to your dealership, you would all give me a different answer, and at the end of the day, you'd all be correct. You know, some dealers tell me that digital marketing is their email program. Some dealers tell me that digital marketing is their website. I had a dealer one time tell me that he paid his receptionist $50 a week to put things up on Facebook, and that was their digital marketing program. So today, primarily, we're going to focus in and around paid digital efforts. Some people call it search engine marketing, pay-per-click, AdWords. We're going to touch a little bit on some of the newer technologies, but primarily we're going to focus about putting your dealership in a position that when somebody is actively searching for a new or a pre-owned car or actively searching for service, that you guys can show up and you can get that business. So we're going to look today, here's our agenda. We're going to talk why digital marketing. We're going to look at some of the newer technology. I'm going to give you 10 questions you should ask of any digital partner. I know you get those phone calls all the time telling you that your dealership's digital is the worst thing that they've ever seen, and unless they call you back in the next 15 minutes, your dealership is in imminent risk of closure. And I know you guys get those calls all the time, and a lot of times you just hang up or you ignore it. But then sometimes in the back of your head you're saying, well, maybe that guy or that gal knows something that I don't. So in that case, I want to give you guys a little bit of a reassurance, some questions you should ask that you can ferret out the contenders from the pretenders. We'll look at a quick case study, and then we'll take some questions from you guys. So when you think about digital marketing, really where this comes into play is today 95% of all car shoppers whether and be for new or pre-owned. 95% of all car shoppers, when they get exposed to car dealership advertising, whether it be a radio ad, a TV ad, a newspaper ad, or their next door neighbor says, hey, go buy from Jim Smith Ford, that's where I got my car. 95% of them are going to look you up online before they contact the dealership. And a large reason for this is today the internet has replaced the yellow pages in a lot of ways. You think about it, 20 years ago somebody told you to go to Jim Smith Ford. What do? You go in your kitchen, you go in that drawer underneath the microwave, you open it up, you get out the phone book, you look up Jim Smith Ford, and away you go. Today you simply say, Siri, what is the phone number for Jim Smith Ford? And that's one of the biggest differences that car dealers have to contend with today that they didn't have to 20 years. Recent changes to the Google search engine results page, back on February 19th, the Google removed the right-hand column of the Google results page. When you used to look at a Google results page on a desktop computer, there were two columns of information. You had the left-hand column, which had ads at the top, and then the free listings below. And then you had the right-hand column, which had paid ads. Well, today, on a Google search engine results page, on a typical page, there are 4 paid listings at the top, followed by the organic ads. 85% of all clicks on a Google search come from the first 5 listings on the page, 4 of which are paid. So as a result, paid advertising for dealers has become more important than ever. What we're seeing is about 77% of all consumers are going to click on at least one paid search ad during their car buying process. And not only with search, but today digital is so big in our lives. You know, we watch TV at night and we're told to vote for our favorite singer on The Voice using Twitter. You know, we watch TV and we're told to follow us on Facebook. Even at the beginning of this webinar today, Brian, our awesome host, gave a plug for Facebook. We're told to multitask everything we do. And as a result, car consumers, they get touched by about 24 different points online during their car buying process. So part of your secret today is to not only have a good, strong search program, but to touch these people in a variety of different ways so that they see you on Facebook, that they see you on Twitter, that they see you when they go to ESPN.com, that they see you on YouTube. To try to get as many of those touch points about your dealership as possible. But this is the slide that always scares me a little bit. In this slide, 63% of consumers, when they start their car buying process, when they sit down at the computer, they sort of know what car they want and what dealer they want to go buy it from. This is where all your hard work with your mass media and your reputation has come into play. All your TV ads, all your radio ads, all your billboards, all the goodwill that you've built with the community over the years that you've been in business lead into 63% of people looking you up and looking to buy a car from you. However, of those 63 people who originally Google a specific car from a specific dealership, only 20% of those people will ever buy that car from that dealer. 80% of people get stolen away by something else. They do a search and they see a different dealer come up, or they see a better deal, or maybe even a different brand. And all of a sudden their eyes are opened, and the next thing you know, somebody that was intending to come your way is now headed somewhere else's way. It was funny, I had a dealership up in Baltimore, Maryland that was a Nissan dealer, and they spent a lot of time and money and effort branding themselves as the home of the $99 Sentra. And it was funny, I was in the office one day of the general manager, and I said, do me a favor, Google home of the $99 Sentra. And they were running ads on TV and on radio, billboards, newspaper, you name it, everywhere, telling people that you can get a Sentra for $99. And when I had them Google the home of the $99 Sentra, their 3 biggest competitors were the first 3 things that popped up on the screen. And I said, those guys owe you a fruit basket, because all you're doing is giving leads to everybody else. So today, digital marketing is more crucial for your dealership than ever. And the last real big digital fact before we start getting into some newer technology and the questions is that today 42% of consumers will perform at least one car search while they're on your lot. Now, here's where hope can be a bad thing. In life, we're always told that hope is a good thing, right? Everywhere you go to church, you go, talk to people, you watch TV, they say, hope is a good thing. But sometimes hope can be a bad thing in the car business, and I tell you why. When you're sitting across from somebody and you're penciling a deal, you know what the customer's credit is. You know what the customer's working with on a down payment, and you know what the customer's trade is worth. And when you look across the table at that customer and you say, Mr. Customer, the cost of this Honda Civic is going to be $89 or $389 a month, you're dealing in reality. However, with somebody, while they're in that dealership, does a Google search, and now maybe they see a competitor across town saying that they can get that same Honda Civic for $99, here's where doubt starts to creep in. Now, you know and I know that if this same customer, if this same trade, same credit, same down payment goes to the other store, the payment's probably going to be close to $389. But if they pick up the phone and they call that guy and say, hey, look, I'm over at Jim Smith Honda, and they're telling me this is going to be $389 a month, does that sound right to you? What is the competitor dealer going to say? Oh, no, man, that sounds way too high. You better come over here. So you need to make sure that your digital is strong and it backs up your sales team so that if they do perform a search while they're in the dealership, that you can show them that you're there. And then let's say you have an ad for $99 a month. Then the customer's going to say, hey, why does it say online I can get it for $99? And then you can say to the customer, well, if you have $5,000 more down, or you have a co-signer, or if you're not trying to trade in your 96 Prelude, we can probably get you to the $99 payment. But at least that way you can have the conversation. If you don't show up there at all, and your competitor does, you're probably going to lose that customer. I want to talk quickly about a couple new pieces of technology, and one of which really, really strong right now is video. Video has gotten crazy online. Today, more people will watch YouTube today than every television station, every cable station in the United States combined. YouTube's presence is significant and it's powerful. And back on May 1st, Google replaced the search engine algorithm within YouTube with the same search engine algorithm that powers Google. And I encourage you after the webinar today, go to YouTube and start typing in the brand of one of your cars, 2016 Honda Civic, 2016 Chevrolet Cruze. What you're going to see is the drop-down menu is going to appear with all the different makes, models, and trims of cars that are out there. And there are videos on just about every make, model, and trim. One of the things you can do on YouTube today is you can actually place your videos at the top of those searches by using the Google TrueView. One of the things that online video does is you're more aware of it. It's more focused in than when you watch TV. Because a lot of times when you're watching TV, you're on two screens. But one of the things that we're seeing now with online video is that the recall is typically about 40% better than television ads. The brand recall, remember in your name, about 80% better than television ads. And the likability, people like the ads online better than they like the TV ads. When you're watching, your favorite television show, The Voice, you hate it when they interrupt you. But when you see a 15-second pre-roll ad before a commercial, the video you want to watch, you like it a little bit more. And one of the things that you can do with video today is a brand new program just came out in November of last year from Google, and it's called Google Customer Match. What Google Customer Match will allow you to do is upload the emails out of your DMS into the Google's AdWords platform. Google's going to perform a match on those email addresses you upload. Right now, they're finding about 65% on average of a dealer's email addresses out of their database are somewhere within the Google database. If Google can get a match on those email addresses, then what happens is when those people go to YouTube to try to watch a video, you can insert a video for your dealership as pre-roll to those people. You can talk to your customers in the marketplace. So imagine now the different ways you can play with Google Match. One of the things that you could absolutely do on a Google Match standpoint is, let's say you upload a list of everybody that's bought a Civic from you in the last 7 years. Then you can feed those people an upgrade message. Every time they try to watch something on YouTube, you can feed them a video reminding them of how much they love their Honda Civic. You know, you love your Honda Civic. You take it to work, you take it to church, you take it to home. Did you know you could get a brand new Honda Civic today from Jim Smith Honda at a really good price? Because those people are Civic owners, now you can serve up videos that are Civic specific, and you cut out all of the waste. You cut out the waste of people that probably would never be interested in your product. So having that Google Customer Match is a really neat program, and if it's something that you're not doing today, it's something that you should ask your vendor to get you involved with, because what we've seen early on is the results have been really, really spectacular with it. Well, I talked a little bit about digital, and I talked a little bit about some of the newer technology. Now let's get into the meat here. What are 10 questions you should ask any potential digital partner? You know, probably by the end of the day today, some of you who are on this call are going to get a phone call from somebody trying to pitch you something digitally. And these are some things that you can think of, put in the back of your head to ask these people to sort of vet them and get rid of the pretenders and focus your time in on the contenders. The first question you should ask somebody is, are you Google Premier Partner and Bing Elite Certified? Google has different partnership levels. In a worst-case scenario, you should make sure that the person calling you is a certified Google partner. A Google partner at a basic level is someone who has demonstrated to Google an awareness of how to use and market their product efficiently and correctly, and they agree to follow Google's terms and conditions. If the company that is calling you cannot show you their Google Partnership badge, or if you go to the Google Partnership website, they don't show up, you need to stay away from them. Google sort of is a traffic cop. They're very, very, very protective of their business. So from a very bottom level, basic level, you want to make sure that the person calling you is Google partner. But today in the car industry, there are 9 Google SMB Premier Partners. So there's really no reason why a car dealership, either a new car or an independent dealership, should ever have to work with somebody in the automotive industry that's not a Premier Partner. And why is it important to work with a Premier Partner? A Premier Partner, as a Premier Partner of Google, and there are 9 of them out there, their employees get trained by Google. A lot of times with a digital company, you get trained by the guy you're replacing. Whereas Premier Partners, they go to Google training. Google trains these folks to make sure that they are successful and to make sure that they're using the product correctly. And what better way to get training than straight from the horse's mouth? The other thing is that Google will now give you some availability to review your account. Google SMB Premier Partners are able to put their clients in touch with the best people at Google, and Google actually can help them set up and review the account, and also help make sure that the people at your dealership level are trained as well. But the biggest reasons why you should have a Google Premier Partner is that Premier Partners are audited regularly by Google. Google will come in and they audit everything from the account build to the way that the account is performing down to the billing to make sure that the partner is giving the client everything that they are entitled to under the Google terms of conditions. And it also allows partners to be part of beta testing some of the newest, latest, and greatest rollouts. And some of our greatest successes here as a company is when we put some of our clients in new Google betas and rollouts, they got to, experience the technology first before their competitors. So if today somebody calls you and they're not really a Google Premier Partner, I would discourage you a little bit from talking. Make sure at least they are a Google partner. But if they're not a Google partner, you need to run far, you need to run fast, and don't look back, because you're going to be putting your dealership at